5 W's. You might remember this from 8th grade English class. Who, what, where, when, and why. Those are the questions that you need to be thinking of throughout this case. Because the state, like an 8th grade essay, is going to try to paint you a picture, try to tell you a story about what happened to Eileen Gow. However, unlike 8th grade English, this is not just a story. This is something the state has to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. We talked about what beyond a reasonable doubt meant during jury selection. I feel that you all know what that means. So let's start off with the who. Pretty simple. We have the alleged victim, Eileen Gow. And I'm calling her alleged victim, not because I'm trying to seem blasé about it, but the fact is, we don't know how she died. It could have been an accident, it could have been another cause. So that's why I'm calling her the alleged victim, Eileen Gow. We have the defendant, Ivan Samuel Brammer. Mr. Brammer goes by Sam, and he is who the state of Iowa has charged with these allegations. What? The state has charged Mr. Brammer with murder in the 2nd degree, abuse of a corpse, hiding a corpse, and theft in the 2nd degree. The state has elements it needs to prove on all 3 of these charges, and they each have individual elements. But that is what the state needs to prove to you beyond a reasonable doubt. Where? The state showed you their nice map of all the points of interest that they have on this case from Monday, February 13th, 2023. We have video evidence of Mr. Brammer picking up Ms. Gowan at Sugars at around 8:30 in the morning. They have cameras and video tracking them all through the town of Council Bluffs, and then they lose them as they are getting into Omaha. There's going to be some testimony that you're going to hear that they were in the Carter Lake, Omaha area, probably picking up some cigarettes because they're the cheapest in the area. Then we have cameras getting this dark blue truck coming back into town from the 480 interchange. We have them stopping at Burger King. We have them driving past a bank with some cameras at the ATM so you can see the truck driving by. The state had nearly everything that they needed to track Mr. Brammer and Ms. Gowan throughout town. But what they can't tell you is how she died and where she died. They're going to tell you, oh, she must have been killed on Railroad Highway. Or, according to the state, just in his opening statement, she was motionless and not moving at the Burger King drive-thru. This is the Burger King drive-thru that is the first Burger King coming into town on West Broadway, heading west. The state is going to want you to believe, through their evidence, that she was killed sometime between 8:30 and 10:30 in the morning, driven all around town on a Monday morning where there are plenty of cars that you'll see on camera driving by, and then taken to Mike Brockman's residence, and then taken all the way back through town, and then, if you don't remember from the map, you'll see later, the crime scene, as they're calling it, is up north by the Old Mormon Bridge. This is where she was allegedly dumped. You are never going to see any evidence of Mr. Brammer heading towards the Old Mormon Ridge Road to dump that body, as the state would like you to believe. When? The state's allegations, again, all stem from February 13th, 2023. You're going to hear testimony that some people may have seen Ms. Gowan at Sam's Club. You're going to hear on February 14th. You're going to hear testimony that some people may have seen her at the food pantry on February 14th. You're going to hear that some people may have even thought she was in Louisiana at a mental health ward. These are all incidents that occurred after the state's allegation that this happened on February 13th. Why? You heard the state say that this is a volatile relationship. You're going to hear testimony that Sam was the one who told Eileen to move out of his apartment, his granddaughter's apartment. He wasn't the one who was kicked out. He wasn't the one that was upset about her leaving the apartment. He was the one who asked her to leave. You're going to hear testimony that Ms. Gowan was a little bit dramatic, and that she was trying to get a rise out of Sam at different points, especially when she was staying at Mike Brockman's house. I want you to pay close attention to what Sam did in response to these provocations, or maybe a little less than provocation by Eileen, but in her attempt to start some drama. Finally, and I'm not sure when they added this to the 5 W's, but I think when I was in school, there was a 6th W that was not even a W, and that was how. How did this all occur? We have the Iowa State Medical Examiner's Office that is going to come in and testify, and they're going to tell all 13 of you that it is her expert opinion that she does not know how Eileen Gowan died, and she does not know what caused her death. She's not going to be able to tell you when she died. This is a person who will testify that she's performed thousands of autopsies and works in an office that performs thousands of autopsies across the state. Unhappy with this information, Ms. Gowan's family contacts Dr. Michael Bodden. And you'll hear Mr. Bodden, or Dr. Bodden, testify, and you'll get to weigh what Mr. Bodden has, or I apologize, Dr. Bodden has against the Iowa State Medical Examiner's Office. And I want you to pay very close attention to what Dr. Bodden has to say, as compared to what the Iowa State Medical Examiner has to say, Dr. Kelly Cruz. The state can talk about waking up to freshly fallen snow, or it's a puzzle with a few missing pieces, but you can tell what the picture is. But that's not what the court of law is about. They're here telling you a story. And the story with the 5 W's, who, what, where, when, and why, they can't prove to you beyond a reasonable doubt. And that is their burden. And most importantly, they cannot tell you how Eileen Gowan died. It certainly could not have been by murder. So when you go back into that jury room, after hearing all the evidence throughout this week, I feel confident that you will come back with the only just verdict, that Ivan Samuel Brammer is not guilty of all charges.